Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's great to be here as always. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching the VSO Gun Channel, and today we're going to be doing a bit of a critique video. It's been a minute since I've done a critique of another creator's content. Generally speaking, I say, hey, it's your content, make it your way. But there was a video that recently came out from Ballistic Nation where he was out testing a rifle, and in testing this rifle, he was going to shoot 1,000 rounds through it consecutively in a single sitting.
Last time the Sabre 15 was on the channel, it exploded.
His video will be linked down below for you guys to reference, but what I will say before we really get revved up is the reason the rifle blew up last time is because it's made by Palmetto State Armory, but that's beside the point. The reason that I really want to make this video is that one of the highlights of the video is the rifle starts cooking off.
This thing just... I'm not.
So as far as I can tell, it looks like he shot about half of the allotted ammunition, which is enough to make something like this start to happen. Wouldn't be uncommon whatsoever. And what's actually going on here is the components have built up enough heat that heat is transferring through the walls of the chamber into the brass and is being imparted onto the propellant, and it is igniting the propellant. Today's video is brought to you by Medical Gear Outfitters. They are my go-to stop for anything medical related. It doesn't matter whether you need bumps and bruises kit or whether you need real equipment like chest seals or a cat tourniquet or something like that. They have got a bunch of medical kits over there. Again, they are my go-to shop, and they are great people. I've known Dietrich and the crew over there for going on like 10 years now. So they are definitely a place that you should check out if you're looking to augment your medical equipment needs. And they have a discount code for all of you who are VSO subscribers. You can find that information over on the affiliates page, and special thanks to Medical Gear Outfitters for making today's video possible. He says he's never seen anything like this before, and as someone who's seen probably 100 instances of something like this before, who has done 1,000-round testing in a single sitting and has been to multiple industry events where rifles are cooking off all the time, there is a really easy procedure that you can use to keep this a safe environment, because there is value to doing this kind of thing to various types of guns. There's just a safe way to do it to make sure that nothing happens, because one of the things that is somewhat dangerous, depending on how hot the rifle actually is if there's enough heat transferred to the bolt as well, they can start cooking off before they're actually put in the chamber. And that's an even more dangerous situation, because now you've got potentially the gun actually exploding, creating shrapnel, versus like when they're in the chamber, they're actually a little bit more safe until you get to a situation where you have what we call a runaway gun, which is a gun that is literally just one after the other after the other. 9 times out of 10, when that starts to happen, the weapon is not in a controllable posture.
We're just gonna let it do its thing.
Now, I want to be clear. What he did here is better than nothing. He took control of the gun and made sure that it wasn't bouncing around and shooting in random directions, although it does look like they've got a situation here that's under their control. It's a wooded area that they have jurisdiction over, so that's good. The simple procedure is this. If a gun starts to do this, you disconnect the ammunition feeding device, and then after it fires again, it can't fire after that. You can pick the gun up and make sure that it's clear manually and all that sort of stuff. And I say that for anybody else that runs into this situation. If you're holding the weapon, I've had guns cook off on me while I'm holding them. You just reach up, disconnect the ammunition feeding device, and the situation is over. If that magazine's half full or most of the way full and the gun starts cooking off and it starts running away from you, it can generate a very serious situation that can be potentially life-threatening. So if you ever see this again, ballistics, disconnect the ammunition feeding device. I hope that you continue to do this type of testing because I find this kind of thing entertaining to watch, particularly if you're going to continue to use absolute trash tier rifles to do it with. Now, there is one thing that I do have to be a little bit hard on him for, and that is when you know that you're going to be going out there doing this kind of testing and you're going to put this kind of heat on a rifle, you need to make sure the muzzle of that weapon is pointed in some kind of defeating direction, as in the bullets, if they are shot in that direction, will be safely grounded once they're launched, because the potential for cook-off is super high when you're doing this sort of thing. And there is one shot where he has the rifle slung over his shoulder and the gun cooks off and it sends a round into who knows where. Now, I don't know the specifics of the area that they're shooting in. It looks like a heavily wooded area. For all I know, this could be in the middle of nowhere. And that's an entirely safe thing. In fact, there are places in the United States where it is safer to shoot the round into the air than it is to have it hit the ground and potentially kick up secondary projectiles. So I don't know where they are, but in the absence of me knowing that information, sending bullets randomly into the air is a bad thing. So from now on, let's keep that muzzle always pointed towards the berm or whatever it is that you're using to knock the bullets down, because that bullet has a lawyer attached to it. The last thing I would add as a constructive thing for you in your future endeavors, go out and get yourself a couple different size vertical grips. I prefer the long one for this kind of thing. If you know you're going to put a lot of heat on the rail, because there's one part of the video where you're like, I don't know what to do with my hand because it's so hot out there, I can't do anything with this thing. Stick a vertical grip on there, and then you've separated your hand from the hot part. And even if you damage the vertical grip, you still get that point of contact. You can maintain full control and not have to worry about burning yourself. I hope that this response video is received as a positive, constructive criticism and is used by Ballistic to positively impact his efforts going forward. By no means am I meaning to rip on him in any way, and I hope that he continues to do what he's doing. If he integrates some of those things that have been won by some of us through long years of experience and our own mistakes, then hopefully he can avoid making those mistakes himself in the future. That said, I want to know what you guys think about this sort of thing in the comments section down below. And Ballistic, if you want to discuss this, I'd be happy to talk to you. I'm really easy to get a hold of. Just hit me up on anything, and we can chat. As always, as I mentioned at the beginning, if you would like to track down his video, then you can find that thing in all the relevant places, and you can form your own opinions about it by watching the full feature. I take a very minimalist approach on the way that I do these kind of critiques because I want to respect the content rights of the original content creator. And I take as little as I possibly can to get my point across. Anyway, have you guys a good rest of the day, and hopefully we'll see you again here on the VSO Gun Channel.